Państwo parę minut sobie poustalamy, dobrze? Czy ja mogę te dokumenty wypożyczyć od Pana?
Myślę, jedyne tak bardziej.
To podejdziemy, że podejdziemy tam do tego wozu. My sobie a ten...
Ja mam dokumenty, bo jest sprawy. Nie mogę robić.
Ja nie powiem, że jest Pan przestępcą, ale tak robiłem teraz.
Pierwszy raz to sprawdzanie tak było.
Prawda, dużo ludzi jest sprawdzanych w tym czasie na też jest. Kolejny. 718.
Panu będzie obecny cały czas?
Cały czas.
96491. Interwencja w miejscu.
Wszystko jak trzeba, żeby nie było potrzebnego gonienia.
W tym miejscu robię na tym. Proszę zapisać do mnie. Dobrze, proszę zapisać do mnie.
Wyjaśniali wszystko na potrzebne.
Skończymy, jeszcze mam nie tam sprawdzać, czy mam
Dzięki we środku.
dziękuję bardzo. Czyli co, jesteśmy razem do jutra, tak? Bo tutaj panowie też...
No my tak Na zmianę.
A, na zmianę. Okej. Dziękujemy za opiekę i idziemy się organizować. Kłaniam się na znak.
Dobra, a ten numer telefonu do pana?
Proszę zapisać.
Ten numer telefonu, bo pan będzie sobie tam grał. A dzisiaj wieczorem w nocy będzie tak, czy?
Cały czas.
Do jutra, tak? Będę cały czas. Nie macie na zmiany?
No wszyscy tu jesteśmy. Mamy na stanowisko.
To poprosimy ten telefon.
601.
No i zajdziemy. To co, ja mogę to dostać?
Tak, tak, bo to jest kserokopia.
Świetnie. Dobra, to my już się kontaktujemy. Ale to nie przeszkadza.
Na razie, do widzenia.
To nie nic, ta fala lewactwa dopiero tam zbiera i oni nie wiedzą z czym mają do czynienia.
Oni już dawno są przygotowani na to.
No w ogóle są nieprzygotowani. Oni to z otwartymi rękami przyjmują, że oto fajnie, taka idea sprawiedliwości społecznej, odebrać bogatym, dać biednym, no to super. Oni nie wiedzą, w ogóle nie mają pojęcia z czym to się je, co ich czeka, bo ta fala dopiero wzbiera, oni tak patrzą, że jest coraz wyżej i ciągle tam pobierają tego Obamę i demokratów i innych lewaków i tak dalej. I mi jest naprawdę przykro, bo te państwa, te narody będą zgodane za 20 lat, bo już teraz widać, że tego się nie da zatrzymać. To jest tak jak rewolucja bolszewicka w Rosji. W pewnym momencie, tak, w pewnym momencie, nawet jeszcze nie było rozlewu krwi ani nic takiego, ale już było widać w pewnym momencie, że tego się nie da zatrzymać. Że to jest proces polityczny, historyczny, który oni muszą przypałkować, przetrawić, przerzuć i dopiero wydalić.
Pierwszą taką zaporę tutaj próbuje stawiać Orban.
Tak, tak,
To jest wspaniałe.
tak. I właśnie Orban jest takim przykładem, uważam, że wszyscy powinniśmy tą drogą iść. No i tutaj jestem pełen nadziei, jeśli chodzi o Polskę, no bo jednak połowa społeczeństwa jest po naszej stronie, to jest jedna rzecz. A druga rzecz, być może więcej niż połowa, bo naprawdę jak były ostatnie wybory, ja byłem też zaangażowany w wybory ostatnie, to mi się wydawało, że po naszej stronie było tyle energii, tyle pozytywnej energii. Ja myślałem, że wygraliśmy te wybory. I do dzisiaj myślę, że te wybory wygraliśmy. I do dzisiaj tak
Tylko, że serwery były nie tam, gdzie trzeba.
wybory były sfałszowane. Albo no, znaczy, jeśli można tak powiedzieć, bo to fałszerstwa w dzisiejszym świecie inaczej się odbywają, nie? I trzeba podrabiać podpisów, można jeden przecinek przestawić w programie i jest fałszerstwo. Także ja, jeśli chodzi o Polskę, to jestem pełen nadziei, że tutaj się zmieni, bo to już społeczeństwo dorosło do tego, przetrawiło, widziało i w końcu pójdzie po rozum, że tak powiem. Natomiast jeśli chodzi o te kraje, Stany Zjednoczone, Kanada, to oni to mają tą falę przed sobą, oni muszą dopiero się przecierpieć, przetrawić, żeby zrozumieli. A to jest no kwestia 20-30 lat.
Tak, tak.
The scientific evidence right now shows it's not a crash, that there were two explosions from the plane about 3 seconds before the plane disintegrated, and the plane disintegrated 30 meters above the ground. So it never hit the ground, only pieces of the plane rained down on the ground. And as a matter of fact, one of these women, she's a documentary director, she went to Smolensk and she interviewed people on the ground, people believe the Russians, right? And they all said they never seen a plane hitting the ground. All they've seen and experienced was pieces, thousands of pieces of the plane, pieces raining down on the ground. So,
That happened in New Jersey many years ago. Do you remember?
but I have to tell you this. I live in New York City for 25 years. I have many friends. When I tell my friends, Americans, about this story, they tell me, Peter, if 10% what you say is the truth, what are your people doing? It would be riots in America from Los Angeles to New York.
No, the newspapers and the media.
I mean, this is a total blackout of this issue. The Polish government, the current Polish government didn't like this president. Neither Russians like him. And so there is plenty of reasons to kill him. They are in cahoots with Russians, trying to sweep it under the rug, and they're doing it pretty successfully because after 3 years after, we have to come here and stand in the main square in Warsaw so people learn it. Because otherwise, nobody would know.
They would talk. They would, well,
And
good
it was a
luck.
president of the country that belongs to NATO, the country that belongs to European Union. Many of the victims on the board of the 95 people they were killed were NATO generals, trained by NATO.
That's a lot of NATO.
A lot of NATO. And what happens? Nothing. Everybody zip.
That's
We're not
strange.
gonna, because they don't wanna.
That seems very strange.
Isn't it very strange?
Well,
And
good
they
luck.
saying, oh, we're just gonna go along with what Russians tell us.
Freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Good luck.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's one of the main things we're fighting for. It is freedom of the speech because there is no free speech, there is no
No
freedom
free
of
speech.
media in Poland. You know, there is some in the United States, but you know, if all the mainstream media say nothing for 3 years about this, what does it say?
That's right. No, you are correct.
And Poland is the staunchest ally of United States in the region. And still, they say nothing about it.
The information age. We need more information.
Well, thankfully we have internet and stuff like this,
Yes.
so,
My advice
you know,
is look for the oil.
Look for the money. Look for the money.
yeah.
You look for the oil.
No, you know,
United
They got
in
their
New York
hands on the
City,
oil.
because I'm Polish, so I'm very active there. But also, I run into very strong Georgian people. In 2008, this president that was killed in Smolensk, basically he single-handedly stopped a Russian invasion of Georgia.
I remember.
You remember?
I do
He went to Georgia, he went to Tbilisi, he asked them to drive him to the front line. He called 7 presidents of 7 different countries within the European Union. The famous of them was Sarkozy, the president of France at the time. They all come to Georgia, so Russians couldn't follow the attack. They had to stop because otherwise they would have to kill presidents of the 7 countries.
Very smart.
And they blame President Kaczynski for it. So that was a reason for itself for Russians to kill him. So I run into these Georgian people in New York City, for whom President Kaczynski is a hero. They set up the national holiday by his name, and he's just a hero there, and we support each other in our demonstrations and stuff like this. But the main obstacle is the mainstream media. They just zip. They won't talk about it.
Well, I remember that Putin was supposed to have vacationed in the American West, and one of the tour guides said he is worse than his personality, his demeanor is worse than the mafia.
They're doing it for so-called reset with Russia. How can you do reset with a murderous thug? With the guy who kills his own people every week. Someone dies in Russia. Being a journalist, opposition person, a Chechen fighter. Look what they did in Chechnya. There is no man left. Only women. That's why now they have a problem that the women join the jihad and all these terrorist groups because there is no man left in Chechnya. So how could they fight? They have no means, they can't carry big guns and go to the front line. So, they rescued into terrorist acts and stuff like this. But it's all done by Putin because he basically wiped out a man, all the men from Chechen nation. And we, because I am an American citizen, so I can see we, and we doing a reset
Yeah.
with this guy.
No do-overs, you say. No do-overs.
It's so bad.
In a schoolyard.
Exactly.
Do-over, but in politics, no do-overs.
Absolutely, but you know, there should be some boundaries you may not cross.
I agree.
I mean, if you do business in such a murderer guy, then what next? You turn murderer, right? And you start to kill your own people, right? I mean, that's the natural way how it will develop. If we don't stand up
Are
and
we
we
not
don't...
all our own people? Yes, so. We hope.
So if we don't stop it, then they will think that we're okay with it, and then go a step further and step further. You know, there are drones in use already in the United States.
It's a big thing. Everybody's getting into the act.
Yeah, there are drones. There are I don't know if you know, but the best paying job right now in the United States of America, right out of the college, is a drone operator.
Oh, yes.
Because pilots, they don't want to do it because they thought they're gonna have pilots to retrain to operate drones, but pilots, they don't want to do it because for them it's not fun, and then they don't feel like they can carry the responsibility of killing people. So the pilots, they want to do it, so they need to set up approximately in the whole United States. There's maybe 3 universities. They have a drone operator program. So there is a shortage of drone operators. Therefore, they make a fortune right after the college.
Drones are very big worry.
So what's the next step? I mean, they already taken, you know, our arms from us, step by step. And people are scared because, you know, it's unprecedented amount of assault in the last 2 or 3 years, right? It's a run on arms stores.
Well, so they say, yeah.
So because people are afraid of, you know, the government
The
actually
civilian
saying,
casualty is much higher. That's a big problem.
So, I mean,
because I am told, I read, because the people who run the drones are often the young people who grew up with video games. And so they think it's like video game where you get a new life. You take a life, you give a life.
yeah,
It's
but
not
there are
the
people
same
who put them in this
as
position.
blood.
There are people who tell them, oh, this is just a game, don't worry, you kill 1,000 people in one move with your finger, but don't worry about it. It just feels like a game, right? There are people who manipulate these people and put them into position.
Yes, I understand.
And that's very bad. It's very bad for us.
They tell them they're defending freedom. That's the lie.
Never leave it. Well, best
So
of luck.
all we can do, what we can try to do here is to spread the word, and please, I'm begging you, please, when you go back to the United States, you have parties, you talk to your friends, to your families, tell them about this, please.
The universities are very good about that.
There's this independent parliamentary commission. It's not a commission, it's a group. They don't call it commission because commission would be official. It's like an official parliamentary group. And they hire the scientists from the United States. They hire people from Akron University in Ohio. They hire some engineers from NASA. They hire engineers from Boeing. And they all, by just looking at photographic documents and examining the whatever they have on their hands, they all agree. There were 2 explosions on the plane. They were cause of disintegration of the plane.
This reminds me very much. Something like this happened outside of New Jersey 10, 15 years ago. And everyone said, we saw explosions and then it fell. And then they said, no, it exploded.
Well, it was in Long Island, it was another one, right? In Long Island, New York City?
Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
I think so,
Now
yes.
they're saying it was probably military exercise that went wrong.
Yes.
And the missile hit the plane after 15 years. But listen, we waited for cutting, you know, in 1941, just at the beginning of the Second World War,
Yes.
Russians attacked Poland from east, Germans from the west, and Russians from the east. And they arrested 20,000 Polish elite,
Zmiana ordynacji wyborczej
military
jeszcze
officers, firefighters, police officers, professors, musicians, artists, writers, academics. They all put them in these camps in Russia, and in 1941 they killed them all with mostly single shot into the back of their head. Okay? Now this president was going there to commemorate this event because it took the world 70 years to uncover the truth. Because Russians, for 70 years, they were saying no, Germans did.
That's right.
And Germans said no, Russians did. And nobody was willing to uncover the truth. And it took 70 years to uncover the truth. We're not
Are you
gonna
a reporter? Do you write?
Are you right? Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much for your time.
we're not willing to wait 70 years for this. We want the truth now. We want the truth tomorrow morning when we wake up. We want the truth in all the mainstream media. We want these people go to jail. You know, we're not, bloodthirsty revolutionaries. We just want justice. And we want them because inevitably, if the truth comes out, they will have to go to jail. There is no other way. Or they will be on
Or
the
South
run.
America.
Yeah, okay. Go, of course. They
In
can
the
go
jungle.
to
They can go to a
Ecuador
jungle,
or
yeah.
Venezuela, whatever. We don't have
Right.
extradition, agreement.
Someplace really hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please, I am begging you, when you talk to your friends, when you talk to your family, tell them about what we have to dealing with in Poland. We're supposed to be a free country.
Yes.
We are part of European Union. We are part of NATO, and there is no free media. There is no freedom of speech. People are put in jail just for saying bad thing about Prime Minister. This guy was put in jail for 9 months just because he said some things that people like. What he said, but it was against the Prime Minister, Donald Matolet, who jumped on the boat. Well, this is a phrase, very catchy, people jump on it, so the Prime Minister, as an act of punishment, I guess, put this guy in 9
It's like
months.
China.
You said. So please, tell people, everybody you know, what we're dealing with
What
here.
is the phrase on the picture of Gary Cooper? He has in his hand a piece of paper.
Wow, samo południe. Ale ja nie pamiętam, co to było.
Że w samo południe wybory.
Jak były wybory, te pierwsze wybory, Gary Cooper był na plakacie. Co on tam mówił?
Dane będą pod kontrolą.
We don't
It's
remember.
like 5 words or something. I'll look to see if I see it and I'll come back to you.
Okay,
It's
alright.
either, what is that?
Hey, thank you for talking to us. Thank you very much.
I'll show you my picture.
You see this stance?
I guess that's where it
We're just
stops.
saying we're not gonna leave till the truth comes out. Obviously, it's not gonna happen.
February?
Yeah, it's an election.
That's what Gary Cooper told me.
Election ballot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you
Best of
very
luck.
much.
We
Thank
will
you for
watch.
talking. Thank you.
Try to stay off your tongue. Excuse me.